we're going to take a look at the reading fill in the blanks practice number 5, if you're following along. All right. So with this one right here, as you know, I will always show you the grammatical rules. If you look at this and you know what sounds good to you, go ahead and pick it. But I'm going to talk about grammar. So with the first one right here, when I have the article and then policy, which is a noun, I know I'm looking for an adjective. And as I scan through the bottom at the options, damn, I got a lot of adjectives or potential adjectives. I know specific is an adjective, but words that have ed in it can be an adjective as well. Okay, so blatant, I don't know if you know what that means, but I know, and this word is an adjective. Okay, but we're gonna keep going. Declaration, tion words are not adjectives. Levy, it can be a noun or a verb. Okay, and then ed again can be an adjective. All right, and then another ed can be an adjective. Whoa, we have 2 words that are adjectives, specific and blatant. And then you have the ed words that are potentially adjectives. So we have 5 options? Nah, I'm not going to answer this right now. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can eliminate some options and then come back and see whether we're using ed or adjective. Okay, so if you take a look at the next one, right away we have a be verb and a preposition. What does that tell us? You should know it by now. We're looking for passive voice. You agree? We should be looking for passive voice. So what does that mean? ed. So we have how many? We have ed, ed. More than likely, we're looking for passive voice. That's the first thing you look for. All right, and then here we have that preposition. It usually creates a dependent preposition. So you just read it and see the ed words. Associated in, rooted in, distributed in. Which one sounds good? Or matter of fact, which one sounds bad? Maybe you don't know which one sounds good. Then let's eliminate the ones that sound bad. Do you agree that associated needs a different preposition? I hope you know this one. Associated needs a different preposition. Distributed needs a different preposition. So the only one that could fit and is the one that goes within is rooted. Rooted inside. Root means in the ground or inside. That is it. All right? So now we're on to the next one. And next one right here, we have an adverb. Doesn't tell us much, just tells us it can be an adjective or a verb. But then you see that we got that be verb. And what do we have here? Another one. Preposition. What are we looking for? I hope you know because we just did this. We're looking for passive voice. We already got rid of the rooted and now we're left with associated and distributed. Okay? So now, which one sounds good with? Associated with, distributed with. Trick question. They both sound good, right? They both sound good, right? I hope you agree that they both sound good. So what do you think is the correct answer? Are they talking about they're connecting something with China or they are sending something to China? Although the open door is generally associated with China or distributed with China. They're not actually sending a door. They're not distributing a door to China. This is a policy, right, that they're talking about here. So we're not actually sending a door to China. So it is associated. Either way, you only had 2 options. So it's 50-50, right? Hopefully you got the right one, but no matter what, you had a 50% chance of answering it correctly. Now let's see if the last one needs a ed. And this one has could. It has could. Right away, even if you don't know the grammatical rules, ask yourself, how would you use this word? Right? If you were to use the word could, what is the very next word that you would say after could? Would you agree that it is a base verb. I could do, I could go, I could see, I could buy. Every single time you put the word after could, it's going to be a base verb. The English language will not change just because we're doing PTE. If you speak it that way, answer it that way. So, how many words here do we have that are base verbs? I actually gave you that earlier in the very beginning. Because specific, you should know this is an adjective. Okay? Declaration, you should know that this is a noun. And then ed right here, you should know that this is a verb. We're looking for a base verb, so we can't have the ed. Now, we're only left with two options, but I told you earlier, blatant is actually an adjective. If you didn't know, now you know. Blatant is to describe something that is straightforward, very direct. You can use that to describe a person, okay? Blatantly rude, or I use it as an adjective. The person is very blatant, right? So they're very direct, very straightforward. Next, that means we only have levy as the answer. We didn't even need to read this. If you know levy is a verb and blatant is an adjective, that only had one option. If you didn't know that, then you had two options. Again, you have 50-50 chance to guess correctly. And lastly, that brings us to the adjective. All right? So remember earlier, we already eliminated the two EDs. And it's more than likely this is not going to be ED because the EDs were meant for this, so I wouldn't be looking at here. This is a noun, then we're left with these two. Blatant and specific. We're talking about policy here. I think specific policy would be a better collocation. A blatant policy doesn't really have any meaning. So another 50-50, right? If you didn't know which one between specific or blatant, 50-50. I think every single one of these, we either had two or three options. It increases your chance of guessing correctly if you had to guess.